got to hear your voice.
What's happening, everybody?
Sorry.
We're live and direct on all Disruption Network social media platforms. It is EC Radio. Today's Blur's Day. Happy Blur's Day to you all as we sit here in the Disruption Network studios. You can follow along all Disruption Network social media platforms. Like I said before we get into anything, much love to my sponsors. Big love out to my friend over at EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When it's time to move and relocate, hit them up at 315-335-0516. The professional movers, when it's they wear back braces, they wear gloves, they wear masks. They're very respectable young men. They're awesome individuals. EJAmoving.com. Have them move your studio, your gym equipment. Have them move your grandmother. Have them move your uncle. You want to move to Japan. You want to move to France. You want to move to freaking Camden. EJA will move you to Camden. 315-335-0516. Also, much love to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today, 315-735-6162. Shout out to Saranac Brewery, which Justin over here is definitely supporting the brewery today. We'll put him on the camera right here. Let's just give him up. Yeah, there he is, right there, Justin. Drinking the UCs today on the Blur's Day. And also, much love to my friends over at Utica Coffee. I love what they're doing over at Utica Coffee. You got to try the Headless Horseman. Do you like pumpkin flavored coffee?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm on it, and I'm jacked. I feel like Cornholio right
Sweet.
now.
Well, I mean, my favorite is Jamaican Me Crazy, so I mean, that's going to be a hard one to beat.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's your favorite?
That is my favorite.
They have so many great flavors over there.
But it is, I mean, like, it's incredible to me, like, how far they've come in such a short amount of time. You know, if you really think about it, they've been around for a while, but I mean, in the world of coffee, they've been around a very short time, but they're killing it, man.
Killing it.
It's amazing.
WakeTheHellUp.com if you want to check them out online, or go stop at their little shop, too, that they have on Genesee Street. It's a really cool place over there. It's a great meeting spot. I have a lot of meetings over there.
Yeah.
And you sit there, you get jacked up on coffee, and you come up with some creative ideas. And I think a lot of the creativity that has happened around the D is partly because of Utica Coffee. So
I believe it.
Shout out to Heather and Frank. Today, Local Music Thursday. We had to switch it up today.
Yep, my bad.
It's not your bad, dude. It's not your bad.
Yeah. How dare you take the gig?
How dare I take a gig? I know.
I know it's good that you have a gig, and I'm glad you're kind of getting back into the swing of things as far as gigging goes.
I'm happy that I could say that right now. I really am. I mean, because, it was just a month ago or a few short weeks ago that we weren't talking about gigs. So, the fact that a few of us are back out there doing it is a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm like that we're in the studio with each other.
I know, yeah.
Hanging out, and we're not in each other's bedrooms.
Right. Yeah, oh yeah.
Which was weird, but it was cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it was a lot easier to get used to than doing music to a camera. You know what I mean? Because we're used to an audience. I mean, at least here, I mean, we're with each other, so at least we're staring at a screen where it's each other.
Right.
We're not really worried about the audience because the audience is out in the internet like it usually is. So, I think it was just a little bit easier to get used to than playing live music, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah. So we did switch up local music Monday to Thursday.
This week only,
because you had a gig. And you did not want to go without this guest that we have today.
No, I did not.
No.
Definitely not.
Nash joining us today,
I mean,
brother.
really, come on.
Yeah. Do you guys have a bromance with each other?
I think it's blossoming.
Yes, blossoming. Absolutely.
Nash, how you doing, man? It's great to see you.
It's great to see you. I'm doing good. Live and healthy.
That's the important thing, man.
Absolutely.
We're all live and healthy. And how many? I feel like you have a lot of bromances going on lately. There is.
Whoa.
I know the guys out in Woods Valley have a bromance with you. They're ones that have. Mike Coley has a bromance with you.
Yeah. Sure. I guess I'm friendly. I don't know. I don't do much talking, but I'm easy to talk to.
For sure.
It's true, man. That's
for sure.
That's what it is, I guess.
Interesting fact is that the Old Main was one of the very first bands to perform in the studio.
Really?
When we were in the other.
Right, the other one.
The other side.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? I don't know how we fit you guys, but we were drinking a lot.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, yeah.
It was St. Patrick's Day.
It was.
Oh, wow.
It was St. Patrick's Day. It was our very first St. Patrick's Day in the studio. And I was like, hey, let's have a band and a party and all that, and we did.
Yeah.
And these guys came down and threw it down.
Well, you guys were known then for packing into really small places. Like I remember the very first time that I ever met you guys was we were at like Talk of the Town. And that remember that we ended up like, and I forget who was hosting, but he's like, and we'll be right back with a commercial break, and the Old Main and Justice Smithson are gonna do a song together. And we all looked at each other like,
Oh,
okay.
really?
And like they went to break, and all of a sudden, now what do we do? And we did like "Can't You See?" I think we did.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did "Can't You See It?" It was awesome. Mitch is back there on the drums, and you guys, the huge string basses in the room, and it was no bigger than just this. You know what I mean? And here we all are, just sitting packed in that room. It was funny. But
That's been my life for a long time, is fitting that 6-foot instrument into
oh my goodness,
just really small places. Yeah.
It's like lugging furniture every day.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yep. I wish I had wheels on that thing, but
right?
Do you have a name for your bass?
it's actually it's Elmer.
Elmer.
I love it.
Because it's an old student bass. I bought that off of Jerry D.
Okay.
In like 2013, 2014. And yeah, so it's an old student bass. It's a K. And on the shoulder of it, the right shoulder, you can see where some heavy-handed kid was just like writing on his sheet music or something like that. So there's a bunch of stuff on the top, and you can make out the name Elmer.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, there it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you once to name your guitars, Justin?
I don't name the guitars. I mean, I usually use the same guitars, but with my Ernie Balls, they're named by color. So like I have a matte black one that's called Mamba, and then another one that's called Bodie, because it's Bodie blue. That was the name of the color, so it's Bodie. And then like I got like tape, because they're all the same cases, so I got tape on the side with the names, so I know which ones I'm grabbing. So
gotcha.
Nothing like every name I could think of for my instruments was just it didn't fit. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a cool story like that. So I had it just didn't fit right. So I was like, I got to come up with something to. So I grabbed the cases. I don't have to just go and open them each up to see which one I got. So
That's the only instrument I have that has a name.
Yeah.
That's like I don't do that otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm like, it's literally right in front of me. So.
Yeah.
Elmer.
I love it.
I like it. Do you set your guitars to different tuning?
I don't. I'm able to. It's just my guitars. I float the bridge, so I can't tune on the detune on the fly.
Okay.
So like if somebody needs me to drop D, I can't do that. Like I have to bring a guitar that I can set up drop D in order to do it. So
gotcha.
That kind of stinks with the floating bridge, but I do a lot with it. So it's not like I don't do like a lot of yanking on the whammy bar or anything like that. But I do a lot of stuff with the bridge where I hit some half steps. When I'm playing a solo, so it works for me. But unfortunately, the detune thing does not work in the middle of a show.
No, definitely not.
And if I break a string, it's done. It's over with. I have to switch guitars immediately.
Yeah. How many guitars would you bring on a gig?
I like to bring 4. I like to bring 2 acoustics and 2 electrics,
gotcha.
so that I know that I have something. I don't have to stop in the middle of the song and go, well, sorry guys. Which there's some guitars with the Floyd Rose system,
Yep.
where you tune down at the bottom, you break a string and you're done. I mean, that's it. And then like you can't just be like, I'll be right back in 2 seconds. You guys talk quick. Like the Floyd Rose, you got to cut the end off. You got to unscrew this part. You got to screw back. I mean, it literally takes 20 minutes to change a guitar string on this thing. So it's like, and I know because I had one years ago. So it was, like. I was sorry, we got to take a short break. We'll be right back because I got to change one string.
We would just turn it into a spectacle whenever Seth and I were playing together.
Oh, that'd be so cool, yeah.
Man, we're like, hey, you get nervous when your string breaks? Let me tell everybody in the room what's happening. It's probably cringing at me right now. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you've been dabbling in guitar now, right?
I always have.
Have you?
I was a guitar player first, and then it was a necessity for the group that I was invited into in college. Yeah,
wow.
right out of Herkimer.
Was that the Birdseed Bandits?
It was.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Was that the first band you were ever in?
No, that was the second.
Oh, the second?
Yeah, the first one was this. It wasn't. It was a band with Seth and Terrence Apprentice and a few other friends from Remsen. Urban Shoreline, I think it was called. We did a bunch of we did like some Kooks. We did the Killers, bunch of indie stuff, Raconteurs.
Oh wow!
And I was playing a Epiphone Deluxe through a Hot Rod DeVille.
Oh, so cool! Was it like gritty?
Yeah,
like real gritty sound. Yeah.
And
that's cool.
I had no idea what I was doing. I just I'm the rhythm guitar player, and we did that for a bit. That fell apart, and then Seth went to college. He was a year older than me, and found a banjo player, and I showed up. They said they had this Hofner bass for me, and I'm like, yeah, hold down the low end. It's kind of like rhythm guitar. Went to one practice. I came back a week later, and they threw an upright bass at me. They're like, here, learn how to do this. So for the next, 2 years, I didn't have fingertips.
Oh, sure.
You dove right into the upright bass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Then it was right when I actually had consistent calluses and was kind of okay with it, that's when the slap came into play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was.
Now, did you have to do I remember growing up, I played the viola in high school, and I remember the string bass. A lot of the people that were learning had to put the lines on to make sure that they were intonating right. You know, did you have to do anything like that when you first started on the upright? Or
yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I didn't know about that. The one thing I knew when I started is I didn't want the tape lines, because you go into the orchestra room in high school and I was just I didn't like the way that looked.
No, it didn't look good.
So and we were playing we were trying to play bluegrass. It was like this anti-folk thing.
Sure.
So I was basing everything off the open G. I knew that if I boom, I'm like, okay. I knew everything from there, but later I learned, and then I actually I got a tuner out and put mill dots on my side of the neck, so it still looked like I knew what I was doing. But
maybe we shouldn't have told that story. Yeah. Now everybody knows the secret. No, it's funny. Do you know that there's? I'm sure everybody out there knows that there was another famous musician that got us started at a different instrument and was needed to switch when they made it pretty famous, which was the Beatles. Paul McCartney wasn't the original bass player. He was. They say he was the best drummer in the band,
really?
Which is really, really odd. But he
I
played.
Didn't know this.
Yeah, but he played. He played rhythm guitar, when it was just him and John playing together, and then when they started, what was going to be the Beatles, and I believe it was Pete Best played drums, and that's when they needed him to switch, and so he switched to bass because they didn't have a bass player, so. And there's actually certain things that people think that Paul played drums on the record that Ringo didn't play, that Paul actually played the part, and so that was some Beatles ridiculousness for you.
Is there any literature on this, or is this all conspiracy?
Well, the latter might be a conspiracy, but I know that it was talked about in the anthology. That's why I first learned it, that Paul was a rhythm guitar player, and that he didn't just start out playing bass. So, yeah.
You're dropping some Beatle history on us today, Smithson.
My mom's a huge fan, and of course the whole band is. We're all huge fans. I mean, I think that, personally, I think if it wasn't for the Beatles, it would definitely be a different music that we would have today, because, I
agree.
These guys came into where it was, all feel good, like writing love you ballads, and then they just come in with this, Ringo's bashing on the drums like this, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" You know what I mean?
Then they started smoking weed and taking LSD.
Yeah, exactly.
And became the Beatles.
Yeah, right. It's like, what are they going to do next? And then they broke up. It's probably a good thing that they did, because it just would have keep going downhill from there, man.
You never know.
No, I know.
Nash, what was the first band you were ever obsessed with?
Oh my goodness. I had a few singles growing up that caught my ear a lot, but the first band that I really dove into, I heard one tune, I got hooked, I bought all the albums, was Dropkick Murphy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Great band.
I went into all that. That was actually my first electric bass was a black and white Excel 4-string, because I saw Ken Casey just slapping away. I was in Vermont at Killington, and they had a show. It was Dropkick and a band named Zox from, I think, New Jersey. Yeah, and there's people skiing by, and they're just these titans up on stage. I'm a little guy, and I'm like, what is happening? And I just went and I just got the whole discography as much as I could, and then towards the early, I think that was around Blackout period for their album, and I got more curious about the punk stuff, and my parents were like, not so loud for a second. But then they ended up lightening up on that.
Dropkick. Great band, too.
Such high
great
energy.
Guys, too. I've worked with them at a bunch at the brewery and at the State Fair a couple times, and they're just such good people. They're normal people like us. They're just cool people.
Yeah, I watched the social distancing show at Fenway.
Oh, was that
That
not
was
awesome?
disgusting.
Oh,
I
it
was
so
like,
good.
oh my god, what? I mean, they're on the bases. Like, just I'm going, what the? This is incredible. I mean,
What?
Yeah, it was insane, man. Oh, it's such. I mean, like every song is just such high energy. It's just like, man, I can't even imagine being at one of their shows. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah,
But-
and then what they did on St. Patrick's Day, too, they did the live stream before Fenway.
Sure.
They did that St. Patrick's Day live stream right in the beginning of pandemic.
Yep.
And, man, they had, like, millions of people watching that stream. Some good stuff.
It's contagious. Like,
It is.
Yeah.
You'd think that, they look like a bunch of rough and rowdy dudes, and like the show with I think the last time they played Saranac, they played with Blood or Whiskey. I was at that show, and it's like everyone's throwing down, having a good time, but I think I saw one fight.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't even think, if any. I mean, just a good drinking music,
Yeah,
too.
well, I mean, it's not only high energy. It all seems like it's like almost everything seems like it's in a major key, almost. So it kind of keeps you happy while you're thrashing. At the same time, you're like, yeah, all right. You kind of keep in a happy mood, I guess.
Most of it's based off of like really old Irish
drinking
folk
songs,
tunes,
right?
drinking
And folk
tunes.
tunes. Yep.
Yeah, the traditional balance of that combined with the punk music just creates their sound. And
Absolutely.
That's them.
So unique, man.
It is so unique.
I guess it kind of makes sense. That's why I like them. Where I'm at right now.
Yeah, right.
It's good balance, though.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Now, before pandemic hit, you were about to go to Ireland, since we're talking about Dropkick Murphy and traditional Irish music, right? I mean,
Yeah.
And then obviously COVID hits, and that kind of squashed your plans.
Yeah, grounded for sure. I haven't checked the list in a few days, but I'm pretty sure it's United States and Russia are like just quarantined by the world. Sweden now too.
Wow.
But yeah.
But Ireland's safe right now, or
Well, I mean,
obviously you can't get there right now,
Right.
with the travel ban.
Europe's doing in general. Europe's doing pretty good. They're a lot smaller. Like the individual countries are a lot smaller than the U.S. And I am not an expert, so like I'm like trying to find my way out of this part of the conversation already. But but yeah, it's tough. I'm grounded, and I've always tried to be a person who's just like keep moving, keep pushing, and make the best of the time that I have. So we were talking before. I went a path that either not too many other musicians around me have taken, or not too many other ones are talking about. I had a day job, throughout the years, throughout Old Main years. I dove right into that. Mm-hmm. I figured that I was in a place with my music where I wanted to be very sure of what I was putting out. I wanted something to be true to me, honest, and I knew that if I I hit the ground, like tried to just like shows, that I would end up somewhere I wasn't happy. So I'm like, okay, winter's coming. Faster than I think, so I'm going to dive into this. I was working like 60 hours a week, but I've actually since then I've weaned off of that, and I'm playing, like I'm working when the sun's up. As soon as I get home, playing music. Morgan's yelling at me because I'm making these weird noises at like 2 a.m. But yeah, just adapting that way, and
Sure.
I think it's okay for people to talk about that. Sometimes people try to they protect their persona. Mm-hmm. We're all just people trying to make it. We happen to love music.
Yeah.
So
you've been writing a lot since this whole lockdown's been happening, yeah?
Absolutely.
Every night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying. Well, sometimes I just stare at the wall.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
just noise.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were inspired by, what was it? You were talking, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, you were talking about Big Blue.
Oh, yeah.
And just like the feeling that came over you in that room.
The second I walked in, every single time I walked in, it was like I felt this like I don't know. It was just like this utter calmness and this way of like everything. It was like, I don't know. It felt like a movie almost, because it was like all the hustle and bustle of the world. You hear Genesee Street, you hear ambulances going by, and the second the door shuts behind you, it's just silence.
Yeah.
But it's not only silence. It's what that room is, and it's what all the things that were in that room even before there was a studio there. There was a church, and you can almost feel like organ music. You can almost feel the people that were in the sanctuary there, and it's just I mean, it sounds like cliche, but it's totally like how it makes me feel. And yeah, I've written most of the songs that I've written have been in that sanctuary, so in that live room. So you know, I mean, I've written obviously songs outside of there, but I never hit a writer's block in that room ever. It was just like bam, I would just start to finish instant. It was like it just poured out of me. And of course, they have every instrument you can imagine there. So I mean, if I wanted to write on a piano, I could write on the piano right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't like I'm like, oh crap, you know, I can't fit a grand piano in here, and I don't have a keyboard. What do I do? You know what I mean? It's all there for you, you know. And I mean, it's just. For me, I mean, you know, it seems like we go from we always mention Tim Moore, but we always mention Big Blue Meanie North, because Big Blue North, I think, is so much more than a studio. It's an experience, and it's almost a lifestyle.
Yeah,
it really is, man. I mean, the time I spent in there, I've spent weeks, months in that place, and it's just like nothing else exists.
I told Adderman if we keep plugging him, he's going to owe us a check.
I know, right?
No, I love that place. Have you ever recorded there, Nash?
I actually just went and laid down some just like simple, like just me and a guitar type of stuff not too long ago.
Oh, cool.
So, very cool.
It was actually the day that you were talking about that.
No kidding.
So I just got out, and I was like, hey, I did all that. Yeah. Yeah. And it's fantastic. Great people, great place.
Absolutely.
And the ghosts in that room are just...
They're all like, they seem like they're, I don't know. For me, I've never seen anything, or, you know, you always hear the heater kick on, or you hear like, you know, or something, you'll kick on if they're not recording, because usually if they record, they shut the AC unit or the heater off, you know, and so you don't hear that. But when you're out there and they're not recording or they're just mixing, you hear that stuff. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, the energy in the room is very positive. As far as I know, as far as I feel it, you know what I mean?
I didn't mean like ghosts as in like...
I know, no, yeah.
Oh, no, there's ghosts in there.
Okay.
Oh, for sure there is.
There's ghosts in
for
there.
sure, yeah. But what I'm saying, I'm just saying it in an energy. I mean, even if you don't believe in ghosts, I mean, I believe that and I'm getting really deep here, but I believe that there's always energy in the world, and that, you know, for people, I mean, I think that, you know, your friends that you surround yourself, the good friends you surround yourself with are people with good energy, you know what I mean? And you navigate through life, and you kind of avoid negative energy, you know, as much as you can, you know, and you know, once again, Jeff and Pam, I mean, going in there, it's just like that's totally a positive energy place, and I think to keep it that way, you know what I mean? And it's just the way that they are as people, and how much they truly believe in what they're doing and what they're doing for the area. You know, they know the amount of talent that's in this area, and you know, I mean, I think that some people think that they can't afford to record, you know, in a studio, but I beg to differ with them. I mean, they've always been so great in working with local talent, especially younger kids, younger talent that wants to get in and do something. And Jeff is so good at developing new talent. It's just the way he is. It's, you know, I don't know. Yeah, once again, Jeff, you owe us money. Like just pay up, dude. Seriously. This is going to happen every week.
The natural reverb in that place is phenomenal. You, like Justin says, you're in that live room, and you could just feel the vibe. But the way it reverberates throughout that room. Watching that Mo stream and just being a part of all that, too, from a couple weeks back, a lot of the Mo fans were saying that, like, wow, you could just feel the natural reverb coming through the computer or coming through your iPhone.
Sure.
And it's true. It's like,
well, they actually use that as a plugin. They actually made a reverb plugin with their reverb from the room, like that actual sound of the room.
Plugged in the dimensions.
Well, yeah, they made it so that it was the, you know, the room. Like it was like I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know, you get like when you select what reverb you want to use, hall or room reverb or spring reverb. You know what I mean? They actually like. I don't know how to explain it, but that's actually like a plugin you can use, like Big Blue North's room. So if you're recording in the control room, and like somebody else is using the live room or whatever, you can still use the reverb from that room because they captured it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was like which was totally cool. And I'm like, man, that's I can't even, I mean, just some of this. I mean, I'm telling you right now. I mean, there's no other place like it in the world. But
it's our Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here in Utica, it really, and
absolutely.
upstate New York too. I mean, I really don't see that rivaling too many.
No, that reverb you were talking about, by the way, you press a note on the piano and hold it. And the previous owner, Pam's stepdad, Jeff Valier, when he owned it, he goes, "Watch this," and he hits the note on the piano and holds it. And when they had timed it, it was 14 and a half seconds before you couldn't hear the note anymore. Huh. So the fact that there's that much reverb,
incredible.
But then you can put a band like Mo in there and have them all play live together. That says a lot about how the room. I mean, it never needed to be tuned. It was just built that way when they built the church. It was built perfectly in tune.
Insane.
So
imagine the vision though that Jeff had. Jeff Valier.
Yeah.
He built that place.
Yeah.
And just. I'm not a vision type of guy. I can't walk in and be like, oh, the walls need to be blue and purple or that. Like, that's not me.
Right.
But for somebody to go in there and see, like, this old church, let's turn this into a recording studio.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you the creative mind that Jeff is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good
Definitely.
stuff.
Anyway, so
I'd
Nash.
like to hear what you're. I want to hear what he recorded over there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Interested to hear some of that stuff. So, what were you recording over there? Was it just solo stuff, or were you helping somebody out? Or
I was recording some solo stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in with like 2 old ideas, 2 new ideas, and I wanted to have like an accurate representation of like what I was going to sound like, because it was like with an EPK in mind. So it's like it's not going to be released.
Right.
But yeah, and then I was invited there, and I as soon as I could respond to it, I said yes. Like let's do it. I've heard so much about this room, and it just through seeing pictures, it they could make it in there. So even like the sound is incredible. We just talked about all that, but the lights in there, they can make it so in that huge room you have all of that for your sound, but there's nothing but that 4x4 square where you are.
Right.
Like an oboe, and that's how we did it. And I'm a big fan of that, because most of the time when I write, it's like
You're in that kind of space.
I am.
Right.
Like most of the lights are off, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I have two like older songs that like I'd play out in the Old Main, and I had 2 new tunes that I think one of them's on SoundCloud right now.
Cool.
But yeah, I went and did that.
Awesome.
I
That's
want to hear
exciting.
it. I want to hear
do
it.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting.
Definitely want to hear it. You bring up the Old Main. I got to tell you, that Nash's last bash was one of my favorite nights of 2020. It really was. And it was like one of 3 or 4 shows that I saw all year because of pandemic, of course. But wow, what an amazing night, man. What are some of your thoughts from that evening?
Ooh,
It was pretty emotional for you, correct?
it was.
Yeah.
It was. That so like we built that band with, like my best friends. And I picked that name. I wanted to have like, the regional tie and something like a little mysterious, kind of creepy. And I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And then the big thing of that, what made that so cool is I got to go to all these different places with my friends and play music and tell everybody about Utica. So like that was neat. All those people that we had gathered isn't the best like word, I don't think, but that's the one I have right now.
Stuffed. That's more like it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a timeline going through. There was a point in the show where I walked off stage, and it was where like the new iteration of the band was playing, and I was walking through the crowd, and it was a timeline to like all the places I had been, and it was so cool. And I get all like, I get heady like that, but it was just, it really affected me. And I started crying.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing night. All of our friends and family were there. There were people who traveled from like out of state there.
Wow.
I think we had something like 300. It was capacity for sure.
It was epic. Were you able to sleep that night?
No.
Yeah, it felt like those were one of those nights, because Justin as well as I do. Like you have one of those great shows, those monumental shows. You're not sleeping.
No.
There's no way you could go to bed. I don't care, like if you take a Valium or how many shots of Jameson you do, or how many pounds of weed you smoke. You're not going to sleep from that.
Nope.
You're just up from it.
No. I think any of us are thankful to say we've had those shows. You know what I mean? Like if any of us can say that, and, you know, even if it's a show that you play for 2 people, if it gave you that feeling, you know what I mean, and you can't sleep that night because it was just such a cool feeling, then you made it, man. You made it, and that's just the way it is. And I don't care what anybody says. You don't need to be signed by a record label to make it. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
It's all on what you envision as making it.
I've had the first time I experienced that feeling was. It was like one of the first shows that Seth and I played at a Tram back in the day. And then it kept happening on my birthday because we were doing Saranaks. This, a few days ago, was a little weird because it's the first time that I haven't been at a show on my birthday where there's like 1,000 people there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go play guitar. Like, I think it's going to be all right.
Right.
But yeah, I missed that Saranac Thursday.
Is there a recording from Nash's last bash?
Not that I know of.
No?
I think.
Was there any tapers in the house? I can't recall.
Yeah. I feel like I might have seen a video from that night, but I don't know.
There's definitely a lot of phone.
Cell phone videos,
video,
yeah.
And I think one person may have showed up with like an actual camera, like video camera setup.
Cool.
But it's. I don't have it.
I'll tell you, man, there's this song that he's got out there. Like the very next day, I'm texting him, like, what's the name of that song that you played? What's the name of it again?
Seven.
Yeah. Yes, he still knows that. Amazing. Like, the song's a hit.
Yeah.
You got to get that recorded.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
You got to get that song recorded. And that's one of your jams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the quickest, most concise writing session I've ever had.
Really?
It was like, one of those weird, like 3:03 in the morning. Like, walk to the kitchen table, home alone, and just, like, no figure. Like, it's a song about the devil. So it's like, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
He's easy to write about at 3 in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
Sitting there writing about it, and you're like, why did I wake up? I'm like, let's not think about that.
Yeah. Let's just keep writing. Yeah, exactly.
We got some friends checking in, and everybody out there in Facebook land, if they could do us a favor and click the share button, help spread the word of EC Radio, the D, the phenomenal band Showtime, which you have an appearance tonight. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Sure.
With our good friend Tim Moyer. We'll talk about that in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And also spread the word of Nash. But let's see. John Stevens saying Dropkick was phenomenal at Fenway.
Oh, yeah.
That was epic. That was really cool. And I'd like to see more bands utilize stadiums like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no fans in the stadiums right now throughout baseball.
Right.
Like, let's see some, like, I'm surprised Dave Matthews hasn't done anything in a stadium right now.
I'm surprised, too, just because, like, I know that he's had very, very much success playing stadiums, like, with fans. So, I mean, like, you know, I guess it's kind of hard not to have a good time playing to a bunch of fans in a baseball stadium. I mean, like, you know. Once again, the Beatles, I mean, think about it. It's like everybody's dream when they were a kid if they saw the Beatles live at Shea Stadium, like even a recording of it, like a video of it, you're like, oh my God, how cool that would be to just play at a baseball stadium. But
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Our boy Jose's checking in. And he's saying Nash is a sexy beast, which you are. Another bromance.
That's true.
Check off another bromance.
Well,
for
that's
you.
Wait a minute. That's a bass player bromance. It doesn't count.
What?
Also, he's wishing you a happy birthday. Happy birthday. It was your birthday 2 days ago?
Thank you. The 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah.
Ah, good. Fellow Leo. That's it, man. Cool.
27.
27.
Oh, dear Lord.
That's
I don't
when
even
the
remember
legend starts kicking in.
I hope
at
so.
27.
My last milestone was getting booted off the old insurance. So, like, what is next? 3 sets of 10? Yeah.
So, yeah, he's saying I knew that kid win. So
Sure.
you and Jose go back a little bit.
He tried. So I had thrown myself at instruments, and I was always like self-taught, working out of G. Once I figured out what G was,
G string.
and Jose took on a monstrous role and tried to give some structure to me. And he was my bass teacher at Herkimer at HCCC, and he did it. He did it. He probably wouldn't be proud of the theory that I've retained at this point. But
I think we're all in that boat. But no, I mean, a lot of people don't know. I mean, I would say that one of my favorite teachers that I've ever had was Jose. Just based on the fact that people call me up on the phone and are like, "Hey, man, do you do voice lessons?" I'm like, "No, but I really wish Jose did still." Because I mean, like there was I have many stories that I could talk about with Jose and the way he teaches, and yeah, it's a pretty incredible thing to watch if you ever get a chance to witness the way he teaches. It's incredible. So,
I wish that I could. Well, yeah, maybe. You want to teach me some more stuff, Jose? I could use it.
That's the one thing I always say about Showtime. You guys are the best harmonizing band in 315, and nobody rivals you. And that's a fact.
I appreciate that.
It's true, though.
Just I mean, I don't know. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that because it's like, I hear things and I want it to sound like that. You know what I mean? I believe that if we're going to do this and be a cover band, and I think the rest of the guys feel the same way, which is why it works so well because, everybody hears the same thing I hear. They hear the third, they hear the fifth, and they hear the if there's a dominant seven in there somewhere, they hear that, and they, it's so easy to put together because all of us happen to have that kind of range where somebody's up here, somebody's here, and it fits that range. So, it works out real well too. But, I appreciate that.
It's true, man. It definitely is true. Coley's checking in, and he's saying Jeff and Pam are the best, and he's right about that. And another big shout-out to Big Blue North. If you're a local band, or if you're a regional band, or if you're a national band, and you're looking for the premier recording studio, check out Big Blue North, because I'm telling you, that facility is top-notch.
We got to book like a 2-hour day with them.
Yeah, we
soon,
will.
You know what I mean?
We will.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to just get Jeff in here to do his arm things that he does when he's listening.
Oh, jeez.
When he goes like this all the time.
We got. What I'm saying, what we should do maybe is do a local music Monday live from Big Blue. That would be cool.
That's a good idea.
We should do that.
We should.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Then all of a sudden Nash will walk in with this stand-up bass and just play us in, Play us in and out. It'd be fun.
Brian Cornish is saying Z, Nash, and Justin. Pretty sure Coley is wearing a drool bib right now. That has got to be the quote of the day for sure. I love it. I love it. Michelle McSweeney from Utica Coffee checking in. Hi, Michelle. Shout out to Utica Coffee. Keep me hydrated. I'm jacked right now on Utica Buzz. I'm freaking flying.
Nothing beats it, man.
Nothing beats it. It's the best coffee in the world. Mm-hmm. Renee's checking in, or Morgan, right?
Yes.
Renee's, what's Renee, her real name, her first name?
Yeah.
And Morgan's her stage name?
Yeah, yep.
She's saying hello, and what is she saying? A live recording of 7 is on SoundCloud. So
it is.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. I love that song. Good stuff.
Put a link up.
Jose's saying he's very proud of you and all your accomplishments. So shout out to Jose, man.
you.
Yeah.
He's a gem.
Hell yeah.
He really is. And he's not doing the teaching, the vocal lessons anymore?
Not at the moment. He's so busy with with school and everything. Like he's where he teaches, and he's taking on a few different roles with that now. So plus he's still reffing soccer and basketball, which it's insane. I mean, the kid is like, I'll be like, hey man, like, what are you doing tonight? Well, geez, I gotta get out of school, I gotta go ref this game, and then I come home and I got about 5 minutes to jump in the pool, and then I'm going to bed because I gotta wake up early, go to school tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool, man. But it's like every single day. Yeah. It's like the man never stops.
And that gig on the weekends.
And then he'll just show up like, hey man, how was your day? Oh, I just worked 16 hours, but I'm okay and I'm here. Yeah. Fridays are really tough for him. Let's put it that way.
I can imagine.
But I mean, Fridays. I mean, anybody that has a full-time job and gigs, it's tough. Fridays are tough, very tough. Or I should say, the first night during the week you have to play when you're working. You know what I mean? I think we've all been through that before. But Fridays are especially tough. Because Fridays you want to go balls to the wall, man. Usually Friday's the first night that you play out. Mm-hmm. You've been waiting all week. You work all week. You get done. You're like, yeah, I'm at the gig. Woo! You're rocking. And get home at like 4:30 in the morning. You're like, I don't want to go to bed. And then you finally fall asleep at 6. And you got to wake up 2 hours later because you got to be at work. And you're like, oh, kill me. You know what I mean? It's like dude. Yeah, but you still do it every Friday.
And people don't understand those struggles. They just see you on stage performing, having the time of your life, but they don't see what you go through on your day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite quote for anything, and I think Jose might have said it, but everybody says, what's it like being a musician? And it's like, you know what? Like, the money that we ask for when we go play, you're paying us to pack up and tear down. The fun part is playing music. I mean, we get to have fun when we're playing music and enjoy ourselves, but it's the setup and the teardown. I mean, we figured, Showtime especially, I mean, we put in an 8-hour day every time we play. I mean, we have to unload a 16-foot box truck. It's like a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment that we're loading and unloading every single time we play.
Don't have roadies.
We got a sound guy and a light guy, and they're
not really roadies.
They're not obviously union roadies, but I mean, these days, I mean, you remember back in the '80s, you could go. Nash, you don't remember, but back in the '80s, you could just there was these kids like following the bands around. You know what I mean? And they would be like, "Hey man, just give me like $20. I'll load all your shit in and out. It'll be cool. Now it's like, hey man, pay me like $120, and you got give me health insurance
Inflation.
and I need just in case I get hurt. Make sure that I have.
Yep.
And it's like and I'll throw around equipment. It's like, man, you got to pay all these like you got to pay massive amounts of money to have somebody just lug your equipment for you, but I still enjoy it. I'm 39 years old. I still enjoy it, man.
It's the only way I had to stay in shape when we were like hitting the heavy season, like carrying amps upstairs. Sure.
Yeah. Are you kidding? You're in great shape.
I know. What the hell,
You ever
man?
seen without a shirt?
No.
You'd make you sick.
Well, the fact that he got out of his car and he's growing out his hair, I'm like, yeah, I could do that too. Not. Chance in hell.
He should have his own action figure, this guy.
You got to pay extra for the string bass.
Yeah.
Collect the whole set.
Yeah, collect the whole set, yeah.
Collect all four.
Oh, man.
Hilarious. Seth is also checking in. So what's up,
What's up, Seth?
And Jose's calling him a sexy bitch, too.
Oh, of course.
Which is true.
Yeah. I mean, let's just throw it all out there. You guys are all sexy bitches, all right? Let's just throw it out there. I'm with Jose on it.
Sexy bitches.
Yeah.
Nash, so what's your plan right now? Do you have like some sort of idea what you want to do? Do you still want to move to Ireland, or are you going to stay local, or what's up with you? What's up with you, man?
What's up? So like right now, you have to stay local. Mm-hmm. I have a great base of operations. So, while it's safe and right now, like, it just makes sense for me to stay put. Like, my goal is to travel and play music wherever I go, whether, like I've been invited somewhere or like I booked a gig or not. Like, booking a gig and then going out to it's kind of cool. That'd be nice. Sure. Factor in like a day or two off so you're not just seeing loading docks. But I just want to go out and see stuff. I want to meet people and sing about it. Like I feel like that's where like the life that I've always like sought after, like that kind of stuff. Like that's how you do it, just by going and just kind of figuring out some stuff as you go. Got to be smart about it, but yeah, like I still want to travel. Yeah. So when things open back up, I'm going to start moving.
Right on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can we expect another collaboration with Seth or some of the Old Maid boys, or?
Yeah, I still write with Seth.
Yeah, you still.
That's great.
It's like you can't. First of all, I'm so happy that I have the kind of friends in that band. Like I told them back in October, and they're like, "Go do it." Wow. They didn't. They went. They like, they were like still like, "Oh, okay," for a little bit, but at the end, like it only took, 15 minutes to recover from that, and then they're just like, "You need to go do it." Mm-hmm. So that right then, like I trusted that they were good friends enough for me to tell them that I wanted to go do that, and then I found out just how good of friends they are after that, because they're just like, you got to go. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. And you can't, like with Seth, I've been playing music with him for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's worth something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and you guys got a couple albums under your belt, and there's a lot of content there.
Absolutely, yeah. We write. We'll see what happens down the line. Mm-hmm. But
you never know, right? But you're open to anything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good attitude, though.
Yeah.
I know it was the complete opposite when I heard it. I'm like, no, what is he thinking? Yeah. Why?
That's what everybody said.
Leaving?
Yeah. I think that's what everybody said.
You got a good thing going. And they're all like, go ahead, man. You're lucky you're not in my band. I would have choked you.
Well, I want to find out how good we have it here in Utica. Like there is a really good scene for just any music, like a cover band or an artist.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I mean. I have this. trying to find within myself the balance between artist and entertainer. It's like you can play cover tunes, you can play original tunes, but if you don't know how to talk to a crowd, it gets a little weird.
Sure.
That's a fact, man.
So
it is.
I struggle with that just because I've never had to do it. Like when I was in, I mean, I've been in Showtime. I've been with Jose and Joe for 26 years, and Jose's always been the one that talks to the crowd. So when I first started playing together, I'm like, this is a song by John Mayer called "No Such Thing." This is a song by, like that's literally how I started talking to the crowd. And I'm like, I mean, I guess you learn a little bit along the way, and I just don't feel super comfortable with it. But
after a couple of Utica clubs, though, I think you loosen up.
I mean, once I was allowed to drink at the bars, then it was all over from there. It's like, okay, I can do this. All right, liquid courage.
Yeah, for sure. But you guys at the Old Main had some epic nights, man.
Oh,
and
man.
one that comes to mind for me is the Taste of Syracuse. And you've played a couple of them. Shout out Station Waterman too for booking she's always booked a great lineup for the Taste of Syracuse. But a couple of years ago, and I was running the stage, and you guys came on and you dominated like that afternoon, and like just people came out of nowhere just to come see them, and you could slowly see the crowd just kind of what's going on over here, and then by the end of their set, they just had massive amount of crowd and just people hanging out, and
that was wild.
It was a wild day.
Like you could see it going down Clinton Street. The Clinton Street or Erie?
Yeah, one of them.
But it was like one of the side stages
Erie
where you
Street.
just had the view of the whole block.
There was a video of that whole show, wasn't there? I want to say that there was a video of that whole show.
I posted a video. Yeah, that was me. I did like a 12-minute video.
Yes,
of
I
those
saw
guys.
that. I absolutely saw that, and I saw you could actually see that happening in the video. You could see people just coming. Like it was. Oh God, it's just something about your style of music, the way you played it. It was exactly what you said. It happens. It's like people are like, wow, it's a different sound. It's a different sound, and it's almost like the Pied Piper. The Old Main was like the Pied Piper. You guys would just start playing, people would just start following it, and it would like file it in and file it in. It was like, man, I thought I was the only one here. What the hell just happened here? But it's like, it was like that for me the first time I heard you guys. I sat there in that studio. That was the first time I heard or saw you guys. I mean, I heard of you guys, but sitting in that studio and listening to you guys play, I was just like, like mouth wide open just the whole time going, man, these kids are good.
Yeah.
Are they doing that on purpose?
Yeah, right? But you could tell that like you weren't going, we're gonna play this kind of music. You know what I mean? It was just like, we're gonna play with whatever we feel. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But this is what we feel like playing. This is, and you could tell it was from your hearts, and the music you were writing was from your hearts, which just, you weren't trying to be mainstream. You weren't trying to do this. You weren't trying to do that. I mean, it's almost like that, like we were talking about Dropkick Murphys. They created their own mainstream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really, there was no genre of music that you could have put them in when they came out.
Oh,
like,
definitely not.
I mean, like you said, they started off in the punk scene, but then once they started rolling that stuff together, I look at you guys like the same way. It's like you guys almost created your own genre of music, which is cool. No, really, what do you call it? Folk? You call it bluegrass? You call it, you could throw some pop in there. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? Rock. I mean, there's so many different kinds of music you guys are touching on. So, I mean, it's, I love that.
It was so funny. And we'd ran the saying into the ground, but it was so funny to me, knowing where our music came from. We were inspired by, all different types of things. So like, I love, Dropkick. I love like Zeppelin. Just when you hear like our musical taste, that what we were doing didn't make any sense.
Right.
And we would get invited to these types of shows where like we would always just be the sore thumb. Like you go to like the lineup at Taste of Syracuse, like we're the folk band,
right?
But then we get invited to like Bill Knowlton's Bluegrass Picnic, and then Piccinini's looking out like from the side stage, like, how did you guys get here? We almost caused an uproar.
It's got to be because you see like anybody playing a banjo or upright bass, you just immediately think country bluegrass. You know what I mean? Maybe these people never heard you. They just saw that there was a string bass in the band. They're like, they must do bluegrass. We got to hire these guys. It's almost like Stevie Ray Vaughan at the Montreux Jazz Festival. The first time he played that, he got booed because like they booked him because the guy that coordinated the event. It was his event, and he wanted Stevie there because he, the way he played, and he got booed the first time. The second time, it was out of control. And then, it opened the doors for other people to play because it was like, music isn't just jazz anymore. Music, isn't just. You can't just say it's just blues. You can't just say it's just rock anymore. There's so many, because now you get all of our generation now that have listened to so many different styles of music that, and then you bring it all together, especially when you co-write with people. If you don't have one single writer and you're co-writing with a bunch of people, your music just takes on a whole different avenue of sorts, and I just love that. That was you guys 100%, and that was just so cool to listen to.
And you guys could tell how much fun you were having on stage too. That really came across.
I would dance with that bass. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've seen you jump on top and almost hump it. I've seen you hump that bass.
Right on the Elmer. Right on the Elmer.
Get me, Elmer. But no, it definitely came across and how much fun you guys were having, and the love that you guys had for each other, and between you and Seth for sure. There's generally a lot of love between the two of you.
Sure.
Yeah, there is.
I'd like to see you and Isaac do something, maybe the duo.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
What would I be playing?
What would you want to be? I don't know. Don't ask me.
It's got strings on. I can figure it out. But.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny that you guys, when you guys came on the scene, you came out of nowhere. It was like boom, there's the Old Maid, and now they're a staple in Utica. It was like bam, just like that. And I think it happened to Isaac too, coming from Burlington. And there's still he's like calling me. He's like, dude, he's like, can you call this person and just tell them that I'm legit? Because because he's trying to get gigs. I mean, the poor kid is not from the area, so but I'm doing my best to talk him up, and doing whatever, and I'm calling some people for him and doing the best I can. You got to book this kid. He's good. He really, trust me, he's good.
All you gotta do is listen to him.
Yeah.
Listen to the music, the material that he puts out, and then you'll just.
Right.
If you don't like his tunes, you don't like pop music.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy amounts of talent with him. Crazy. And a collaboration with you and him would be cool.
Sick.
Figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Justin, you got a gig tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your gig really quick.
Well, Tim's been asking me for the past 7 months.
Tim Moyer, that is.
Tim Moyer.
There's this unofficial shout out.
You guys need a neon light.
Yeah. Has been asking me. Yeah.
We should.
Tim Moyer. Yeah. We should totally do that. I mean, he's been asking me, for the past however many months the quarantine's been going on. You got to do this wind down thing with me, Thursday or whatever night it was at the time. And what happened was I completely ran out of excuses. I ran out of school. Now I have to do it. I'm like, dude, and I'm thinking to myself, God, please, I don't want to do this. But here I go. I mean, look at it. It took him how long to get Matt to finally do it with him? I mean, now Matt's there every weekend, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid if I go and do it tonight, that I'm going to end up having to be there every week with him, too.
Or get COVID.
Or get COVID. I mean, it's like, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. I don't want to
totally. No, I can't. I mean, no, I know.
I take
right?
that
Come on. No, it's. I honest to God, I've been trying to plan it, trying to get it right in the schedules, and finally I was able to do it. I'm really super excited because we did just a backstory when Gridley and Showtime were an entity back in the Herkimer days, when it was like Glory Days and Brownies. It was like Showtime's and Glory Days and Gridley's and Brownies, and all the fans would be like, maybe they'll fight out in the middle of the street. They try to like pin us against each other.
Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah, so one New Year's Eve, Mark from Glory Days hired both of us to play New Year's Eve, and the back room was so big. It was, do you remember Rendy's?
Yeah.
Back in Herkimer. Yeah. You remember Glory Days, so you remember that big back room. So we set up, Showtime set up on, they had these risers that, came over as soon as you walked in the building. You saw the risers with our setup, and then on the left where the stage was. And the stage was built into the room, and there's Gridley Page, and each of us had a sound system, and so we would play the first set, then they would play, then we would play. It was nonstop music. The second we'd hit the end of our song, Gridley would start, and you should have seen people's faces. They walked in the room and they couldn't believe that we were in the same room together because they thought we all hated each other. Which never was the case. I mean, Tim was a total asshole the first time I met him, but we talked about that already, But, normally people say that about Tim, but I mean, I've known Tim for a very long time, and I tell you, if you think that Tim Moyer or any of the Moyers are douchebags, then take the time to get to know them, because it's what they've done for the area, what they continue to do for local musicians, and even regional and national musicians, in Tim's case, and everything that he's accomplished. It's just, once again, I'm just very excited to do this tonight. So, tune in. Wind Down Thursday.
Wind Down Thursday.
Starts at 8.
It starts at 8 o'clock.
Sponsored by the D.
Oh, there you go. We're throwing the D and Copper City Brewing Company
Yep,
too.
absolutely.
So we're teaming up to sponsor it, which all we're doing is sharing it.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
But no, shout out to Tim for thinking of us,
Definitely.
and he's opening up the doors because he's doing this Wind Down Thursday every week, and he's like, hey, we want to get local businesses involved and local restaurants involved. And
that's how his
awesome.
mind works, though. Isn't it crazy?
It's great that he works that way, man, because he's all about helping the area and helping the community and networking.
Yeah.
And shout
Very
out to Moyer.
selfless person.
Absolutely. Shout out to Moyer and the Grilly Page crew, and you're going to have a good time. I'm sure
I can't
you're gonna
wait.
have fun. I think you should just get drunk and roast Moyer.
Well, I would. I might have to Uber home, though. And I don't think my wife would appreciate
You
that.
do that, I'll give you a ride.
Listen, I'm sure that without drinking that much, there'll be plenty of roasting going on. That I'm sure of.
Right.
Mostly Tim on me, but that's all right.
He roasts himself just by all his costume changes. Does he do costume changes during these live streams?
I'm not sure. I want to say yes. I want to say, I don't know, him and my friend Phil Scalise got this thing going about shoes. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's a foot fetish. I have no idea. But it's just, they got something going on there. I mean, Tim's got things in the, with everybody on the internet, especially his brother.
Oh, yeah. It's
one of my favorite things when I watch Wind Down with Tim Moyer and Matt is Jeff comes on just about every time and says, go to commercial, stop it. Just stop now. Yeah. Like
park in the
roll
car.
Roll credits. I mean, like it's so funny, man. It's the whole thing is 100% entertainment and good music too on top of it. So
what do you plan? Are you just going to go and show up? And do you have like a song list that you're going to do with them?
He sent me his song list and he says pick off what you know. And of course I looked at it today and checked off everything I know. I said okay.
So you're playing Rick Springfield all night.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't one of the ones I checked off at all. I know it though, but I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do some cool songs. It'll be awesome.
Do you got a whole list though?
Yeah, we got a list, and Tim's throwing what I've highlighted together, and Matt is. Getting older now, so he needs a little bit of a reminder. Like these are the songs we're doing, so he's got to practice up.
He's practically collecting Social Security.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if he has his AARP card yet. I know Tim. I think Tim just got his too. So
yeah. If you ever want to make Matt happy, you just give him a bottle of wine.
Absolutely, man. I think that's why they started the Wind Down.
Just so
Tim's like, I'm not going to play unless there's wine.
That goes off at 8 o'clock on Gridley Page's Facebook page, correct?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm sure I'll share it to mine too and stuff. So
yeah, we'll be sharing it and watching.
I'll send you a reminder to share it on your page too.
Please. I need that notification. No, but yeah, definitely check it in. And shout out to those guys again for doing it. And Nash, have you been doing any live streams since this pandemic has hit? Have you done anything?
None.
I think your friends and family would like to see you do it. I, being one, would like to see you do it. That makes two of us in this room would like to see you do a live stream.
Majority rules.
Yeah.
I've always been very stubborn. Like, it's not just the story, but like my first word was literally no. And
there's your answer, Z.
Yeah, and it was a quick no.
there are so many people who are doing the live stream thing, and they're doing it great. The level of production and the thought that goes into that. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, something in me is telling me to go like do something that's a little more produced.
Sure.
And actually, I went that way with, I play in a band and write with some of these guys from Syracuse called All Poets and Heroes. And we thought up this idea for just like an acoustic, semi-acoustic series where it's like we do like capture audio from the room. And it's like, there's not a lot of editing. It's just like merging the shots and the audio together.
Yeah.
So it sounds decent, but it's like
draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So like, yeah, I've stayed off of the live thing. We'll see as this whole pandemic thing progresses. We'll see, like if I can keep to that. But I would much rather push out something that is, something that's going to stay on YouTube. That's like a little more artistic, it can be more ambiguous. Yeah, I'll do that before I do a live stream.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless it's for, like if it's for an amazing like cause or something like that, then like I'll try it.
Yeah, we did a couple of those over the pandemic, which was nice. I mean, you actually felt like you were doing it for something. You know what I mean? It was like, it felt like you were doing good for that. Like, Heather Beebe's, her live stream that she put that together, and that was a daunting task. I mean, there was a lot of musicians on, and to get everybody together and do it. She had to do for that was incredible. So
she knocked it out of the park.
She really did.
And that was for the Theo Bowman House.
The Theo Bowman House, yep. And that was just
great
cause, show. And
I also had like it plays into how much I was working at that time. Like
that's Frank. Say hi to Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Frank's the landlord around here. He's the one that puts up with my shit every day.
Right.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But yeah, I was working, and a part of me felt like I didn't want to, like, I have a source of income right now. Mm-hmm. I'm still playing music. I'm still doing what I love, but like my primary income is coming from this day job. And like, if people spend money sometimes differently when they're thrown into the virtual tip jars. Mm-hmm. And I felt horrible. I'm like, I'm pretty solid right now. Like, I'm not taking away from someone who's like, this is all they can do right now. I don't know if that's true, if that's how that's actually happening, but like that is a decision that I've stuck to
right
until then, because like I'm not going to muddy up the airways right now.
Gotcha. Understandable.
Totally.
I can see that. I think this live streaming thing is going to stick around, though, even after COVID's done.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it'll evolve in a certain way.
Yeah.
It'll evolve where, I mean, like, what I thought was really cool in the beginning was, like, once again, I mean, I don't think people in the area realize how much we, as a music community, speak to each other. Mm-hmm. Like, based on social media, even if I don't have your phone number, I can message you on Facebook or, Instagram or whatever.
You want my number?
Yeah, maybe.
Here we go.
All right. Well, I was trying to be more subtle about it, Nash, but I mean, we'll talk after.
Okay,
all right.
All right.
Let's see in front of everybody. Anyway, but like I mean, we do talk to each other a lot, and I think that what was cool is that somehow it was like we're gonna do an hour. We never really all talked about it, but I think that whoever did it first did an hour, and then like we all were just like, okay, that person's doing an hour, maybe we should do an hour, and then we would find out like people would immediately post, I'm going. A week from now, from 2 to 3, and then somebody's like, okay, so this person's going Monday from 2 to 3, so let me go 3 to 4. You know what I mean? And we almost developed our own schedule without it being written down anywhere. It was just incredible, like how like we would just check each other's pages, and we knew like where everybody was going, and there was only a couple times that it would like overlap. And I think it was just because it was maybe the only time one of us could go is, okay, we have to go this time. But, it was always like, if that did happen, we'd make shout-outs to the person we were overlapping, and make sure you stop over and see, Max Sheldon's playing right now. Make sure you jump over and see him, And, like, it was just, it ended up, just taking that musical community that we have and just, extending it into the airwaves, which is just, I don't know, something really special and unique about this area when it comes to music, man. It's just
absolutely
incredible.
And I think once summer hit, it kind of died down a little bit.
Sure.
But I'd like to see that come back in the fall with all you guys going live. Like Max was going live every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And you were going live on Mondays.
That's how we started the local music Mondays.
Yeah,
I mean, I would go live, and then I would just hop over quick to the Zoom call, and then we'd do it.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
And they wind down Thursdays, which I think it was wind down Wednesday at first, right?
Yeah, wind down Wednesday, and then it might have changed to Friday. I think that I don't know.
And but just all these great local musicians were going live, and and like
Jeff
you said,
and Molly did that one. Oh my God, it was like
epic.
When Jeff and Molly did that. It was something that everybody's wanted to see for a long time. Like Jeff and Molly play another show together, and they went on Facebook Live, got wasted, and played. It was awesome. It was awesome. I was like, we all sat there. I put it on my big screen TV, sat there with a drink, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is great. My wife's like, woo! We're all writing to him and stuff. It was just, it's something that we could look forward to in a very dark time, especially for us as musicians, especially the ones that do it for a living, unfortunately. But, and I say unfortunately, but I mean fortunately. But, you know, whoever thought that something like this would ever happen? You know what I mean? It's so far away. But, you know, really quick before we go off, I know that we were touching on it before, that when people go live and they have a virtual tip jar, look at it as the fact that, you know, you're not going out to a bar right now. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to convey before, that, you know, you're not going out to a bar. You're not spending the $50, $60 at the bar. And if you're basically donating it to the musician that's playing live, you're helping to keep them alive. You know what I mean? Because when you go out to the bar and you pay the bar $60 of your money to drink their beer, that's helping them pay the band that's playing. You know what I mean? So it's, in a sense, that's, you know, how you're supporting when you go see them at a bar. But when they're live and you see that virtual tip jar, it's very important. It's a very important thing for them. So. And
if you have a couple extra bucks, throw it to the band. They need it. You know, you got mouths to feed, and this is what you do for a living. And you know, this whole lockdown has definitely taken away from your livelihood. So.
Everybody says, "Why'd you choose music then? If you're so, you know, if it's so like, you know, whatever, the money's not there." It's like I didn't choose music; it chose me.
There you go.
And I was too young to even realize what I was choosing when I chose it. You know what I mean? Like or when it chose me, I should say. I mean, it was bound to happen. You know, so nothing I could do about it.
Nash, Coley's thanking you for doing the Rome Capitol Theater benefit with Seth.
Oh, that was amazing.
What was called the Copper City Quarantine. So he's thanking you for that.
Awesome.
So that you did do a live stream. There you go.
Pre-recorded.
Oh, well, it was pre-recorded, but it went out live.
It did,
kind of, in a way.
So I guess I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a recorded session and then put it up there. Yeah.
They did that. Right.
He did. He did a great job with that. So, and then hopefully when the fall, like I said earlier too, like when the fall comes back, you guys will be back there out on your live stream during the weekdays and maybe gigging on the weekends at some random venue.
Sure.
You know, and we got to keep these venues afloat too.
Well, and that's the hard thing. I mean, this whole thing, like, once again, everybody says, well, you know, that all the memes you see on Facebook and everybody yelling and screaming, it's like, oh, you're saying that I can't get COVID if I have something to eat, but I can get it if I'm drinking, and that's not the point. The point is that they're trying to
just ignorance.
Stop. They're trying to stop people from congregating, okay? And it has worked. I mean, people have to sit down in their seats to eat and drink their beer, and then they go home. And I've seen it out playing. I mean, like, you know, and that's the only thing that's going to keep these businesses alive.
Yeah.
Wear your mask for the business, not because, you know, somebody's telling you to do it. Somebody's telling them to do it. And if I walk into the bar that I'm playing at, or the restaurant, and somebody from the ABC board's there and they see that I'm not wearing my mask, that means that they get fined.
Right.
They get shut down. I can walk out of the room without anything happening to me. No consequences on my part for not wearing the mask.
Right.
But this favorite place that I go to or that I play, they can get shut down. They can get fined. So that's where it's at. It's not because...
And these venues can't afford a $10,000 fine.
God, no, man.
They can't even afford a $1,000 fine.
I mean, you're seeing it all in New York City right now. All these bars and restaurants that have been around since the 1800s are all shutting down because they can't afford to pay it.
It's a shame.
You know? But...
Yeah, some sad times we're living in. And just follow along the rules. You don't have to be a freaking rebel out there. I'm not wearing my mask. I know my constitutional rights. We don't care about your constitutional rights.
We care about the bar and the restaurant.
Yes,
we care about
if you want to see your favorite establishment survive, wear your freaking mask.
Not that hard.
It's not that hard.
When you sit down, you get to take it off. How about that?
Most of you are better looking with the mask on anyways.
I know I am.
Me too. Anyhow, hey, Nash, you got anything you want to plug? Anywhere people could check out your music or anything?
Yeah, so I don't really share it all that often, but I have a SoundCloud, and that's how I finish a song. Like, I won't fester on it. I'm like, nope, this is done. It's up. Like, it's out of my way.
Awesome.
I love it.
So I have the SoundCloud there. You can still get like old main tunes on Spotify and all like the Amazon and
Awesome.
Apple, and I'm also playing in, like I said, All Poets and Heroes, and like they have Spotify, YouTube, like all the social media. So like that's all the stuff that I'm doing right now. No shows, but
definitely check out your SoundCloud.
just check out all my social media stuff. Instagram's fun.
Right after this is done, I'm going to listen to that song.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you, it's a.
Well, we got speakers in here too. You can crank it, right?
It's a freaking hit. I love that.
I can't
song.
wait.
Like the next day when I was all hungover from the Nash's Last Bash, I went to I was like, "What's that song?" It's awesome.
That's great.
It really is. So
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's great. It's a hit, bro.
I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing here. Like,
me too.
As it comes along, it's really exciting. It's nice to see somebody, still kicking it. I mean, original music is very tough in this area. But not so much. I mean, it's a little bit less difficult in Syracuse, but definitely Utica is just ridiculously hard. Like, you got to have, I don't know what kind of music you got to have in Utica to make it here. You know what I mean? As far as, not that you want to, but I'm just saying it's like it's tough. They're a tough crowd, but, it's fun.
I love it. I love it here.
Yep.
Like,
awesome.
Like I said, I'm going to figure out how good I have it here. That's what I'm doing by going.
Justin, where are you playing this weekend besides tonight with Wind Down Thursday?
Actually, I got a private party on Saturday, which we've been doing a lot of private parties, but this is another backyard party that we're doing with the trio. Sunday with the trios at Harpoon Eddie's, lots of trio gigs. Yeah, Harpoon Eddie's, and then this coming Wednesday now I'm at the Brass Tack again by myself. So.
Awesome, cool. I got a quick little plug, too. I'll be out over in Auburn, New York, the Finger Lakes Drive-In. We're having Pigeons playing ping pong out there. So great jam band. If you guys aren't familiar with them, they're awesome. They're playing on Saturday and Sunday. Shout out to Creative Concerts. I get to see my pirate crew.
And you're working? You're actually working the show and doing it?
I'm going to hang.
You're going to hang. Cool. All right.
I'm going to hang.
All right.
But I'm looking forward to seeing the pirate crew and all my peoples and stuff. And it should be a good old time. So if you're out there and you're into Pigeons playing ping pong, go check them out. And it's going to be cool to see that little drive-in set. I haven't been able to experience that yet.
Sure.
It's been a long time since I've been in a drive-in.
Right. That's going to be awesome.
Looking forward to that. Go to cctix.com for more information. And, again, shout out to Creative Concerts and my pirate crew. So, yeah, man. So, all you people out there in Facebook land, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. All things Disruption Network. And also, I got to give a shout out to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. Without our sponsors, this podcast is not possible. So, big ups to Eddie and the boys over at EJA Moving. The professional movers, when it's time to move and relocate, hit them up at ejamoving.com or give them a call today at 315-335-0516. Also, much love to Utica Coffee, Saranac Brewery, my attorney Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. And also, guys, you see my new cornhole boards?
Yes, I'm
How
very
cool
jealous. Very jealous.
Yeah, those are super, super cool. Shout out to my boy Todd Beretta. He's got a new endeavor out there called Peens Boards, and you can check them out on Instagram. And Peens, it's spelled Peanz Boards, Boardz on Instagram. Check them out. I posted a little video of it yesterday. Cool. We got to break them in a little bit last night, and he does great work. Customized cornhole boards.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I love it, man. I absolutely love those boards, and I can't wait till we can actually get back to doing a bunch of events.
Sure.
So I can actually bust these out and people can play with them. And we can go play right on James Street if you want.
I'm in. You got they come with the bean bags too?
I got them inside. Yeah, they're
that's
inside.
awesome.
They don't come, but you got to buy the bean bags.
Buy the bean bags. Okay.
But I did buy them. I got black and white bean bags, and they're in there. Yeah, awesome. Are you a cornhole player?
I love cornhole. Yeah, it's one of my favorite games to play. Absolutely. Yep.
I can see you being really good at it.
Yeah, I do. I was pretty decent back when I used to play. It's tough in the summertime. I mean, when we used to play, but that and ladder ball are two of my favorite games to play. I love ladder ball too.
One too, which we like to call them redneck horseshoes.
Yes, exactly.
Same principle. So, yeah, it's good stuff, man. I see you anything with a ball and a hole. I see you being really good at.
That could go different ways, but yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Justin, what do we got for Monday? We got local. We're going to go back to local music Monday.
Yes.
And we got some things in the works. We got to get Max on the show.
Yeah, we got to get Max. We got to get Stacy. We got to get Jeff and Pam. We have people that. And hey, like I've said every single week, if there's somebody you want to see on the show that is a local artist that we don't know about, even especially people that we don't know about, and you need to see them on the show, leave a comment. Get a hold of Z. Get a hold of me. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's definitely make it happen. Local Monday resumes this Monday, so definitely check your local listings, and we will be here again. And thank you so much to everybody out there.
Thank you, Nash,
for paying attention and watching us. And thank you to Nash. Shout out to everybody out there in Facebook land, and we will see you again on Monday. Later, people.